Nightcrawler is the Libra of the X-Men, and Libra is the balancer. They have active, inquisitive minds that constantly ponder the world they live in, from complex philosophy to esoteric religion. They also love to invest in and develop relationships, and are expressive and quick-witted. The swashbuckling mutant known as Nightcrawler, also known as Kurt Wagner, may as well be the poster child for this sign. First introduced in 1975's giant-size X-Men #1, Kurt was born with blue skin, yellow eyes, pointed ears, and a devilish tail. He's often mistaken for a demon, despite the fact that he's a devout Catholic. This has caused no end of angst for the good-hearted mutant. After becoming an X-Man and coming to terms with his mutations, however, Kurt's warm, generous, and charmingly eccentric personality is finally able to shine forth. It's no wonder he's one of the team's most popular members. Nightcrawler lovingly devotes much of his time to his friends, like so many sociable Libras do. He also spends many hours thinking and talking through his life and faith. He's no slouch on the battlefield, though. Kurt fights evil, often with a cutlass, by teleporting to and fro, making clever quips. He's the life of any party that's lucky enough to let him in, and a serious companion down to debate life's mysteries. In short, the ideal Libra. Thus, when conflict emerges, he tends to be the one who helps settle it. Sometimes it's done with humor, other times it's done through experience. You shouldn't be surprised if you look into the sky one evening and find the sign of Scorpio replaced by Magneto. He's nearly a perfect match for this zodiac, and not because he can strike without warning. Scorpios possess focus, drive, and high ambition. They crave control over their own destiny and are determined to keep that control. The Scorpion is fearless and filled with desire, but that desire can manifest in dark ways if left unchecked. He's a being with multiple layers that create contradictions. He can be frighteningly powerful, yet he'll mourn the death of another mutant, no matter what side they're on. He's cold at times, certainly independent, and he always has an agenda within the agenda he's involved with. Basically, Magneto is a living conundrum. He's also extremely direct and cares little for nuance or prevarication. Any man who would threaten to reorganize the Earth's magnetic poles can be rightly accused of being blunt. Unfortunately, he can also be somewhat intractable in his beliefs, which keeps him from being open to new ideas. Magneto's Scorpio intensity has led to some pretty extreme views, but that's a result of his troubled past. He's seen the worst of humanity, and he's determined to keep control of the destiny of mutants at all costs. Hard to tame, free-spirited, spontaneous and fiery. Who else but Sagittarius could embody Jean Grey? Whether she's hurling through space as Phoenix or leading the X-Men on Krakow, Jean represents mutant kind's limitless potential. Jean lived for a long time with two personalities. When the Phoenix woke up, she released her psychic barriers and showed a darker, more instinctive, and disturbing aspect of herself. So do Sagittarians who try to suppress their inner fire, which on the contrary should burn in them and light their way. There's nothing Sagittarius hates more than people who aren't genuine, so they might well find something to relate to with Dark Phoenix, albeit before she begins her quest to destroy the universe. That's because Jean Grey's inability to contain the Phoenix Force was partially triggered by the realization that she was being manipulated by the Hellfire Club. Strong, independent, and ambitious, Dark Phoenix would illustrate some of the best aspects of Sagittarius if not for the fact she was motivated purely by the lust for more power and didn't mind how many lives would need to be lost in her progress towards that goal. Just like the Sagittarius, the Phoenix bears the power of the gods in her hand, and with that ability, she can be your greatest ally, or most formidable foe. Just don't get on their dark side. Capricorns are determined, ambitious, and patient. Above all, they're ready to put the work in to achieve their lofty goals, which can take an entire lifetime. Their eagerness and self-control helps them lead and manage others in pursuit of these dreams. Who does that sound like if not Charles Xavier, leader of the X-Men? The original leader and founder of the group who made his debut in 1963's X-Men #1, Professor X longs for a world where mutants and humans can coexist in peace. He's more than willing to do what it takes to make that dream a reality. That's why he forms the team in the first place. He wants to help mutants control their powers and protect the world, thus replacing humanity's fear with trust. Xavier is practical, like any Capricorn. He knows his dream is huge, but he constantly and consistently makes solid, realistic plans to achieve it. His is an unwavering focus, and though it can often make him seem distant or cold, those close to him know it's fueled by just how intensely he cares. Capricorn isn't an unfriendly sign, just an incredibly hard-working one. Those born under the sign of Aquarius have a progressive social consciousness. They often focus on humanitarian concerns, and seek to change the world in radical ways. Unsurprisingly, they're also free spirits who are often known for their wide-ranging intelligence, caring natures, and somewhat wacky fashion choices. Basically, they're Kitty Pryde. Of all the X-Men, Kitty, also known as Shadowcat, also known as Sprite, also known as Ariel, also known as the Red Queen, is one of the most genuinely good. It is her deep-rooted concern for people that leads her to reject the Hellfire Club's villainous Massachusetts Academy in favor of Xavier's altruistic school for gifted youngsters in 1979's X-Men #129, her debut appearance. She accepts those around her and willingly fights for those who fear and persecute her, convinced she can help create the world that Professor X dreams of. Kitty's powers allow her to phase through solid objects, making her a literally free spirit. She's also incredibly intelligent, and has led teams of X-Men herself on many occasions with verve and vision. As the final sign in the Zodiac, some believe that Pisces combines the lessons of the preceding signs. These compassionate folks place great emphasis on emotions, and often take others' burdens on. This means that Pisces need to practice letting go of the past and moving forward, and establishing good boundaries. Rogue knows these lessons well. Cursed with the uncontrollable ability to absorb the life, memories, and powers of anybody she comes into skin-to-skin contact with, young Anna Marie became an isolated runaway. Mystique recruits the girl into the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which means Rogue made her debut as a villain in 1981's Avengers Annual No. 10. In a fateful encounter with Carol Danvers, Rogue absorbs the woman's powers and portions of her personality, memories, and consciousness. Divided and split by these competing identities, Rogue finally turns to the telepathic Professor Xavier for help. After her psyche is back under her control, she joins the X-Men once and for all. Rogue lets go of her villainous past, moves forward, has powers that literally take on others' lessons and burdens, and must constantly fight to maintain boundaries between her true self and that of the people she touches. Bottom line, Rogue is a Pisces through and through.